I'm wanting to make a bag, a poultry feed bag. I have an image that I bought off of Etsy. I have quite a few of this lady's images. And this is my wax paper, or freezer paper is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to iron that onto this. This is some material that I got from burlapfabric.com. And I can't remember the name of it, but I'll link it down below. It's, what is that? I got some by Waverly that I got at, I never can think of it. I use it all the time. Everybody uses it. But this is thicker and heavier and nicer. And it's from burlapfabric.com. I'll link it below, so I might think of what it's called. Now, I'm going to iron this freezer paper on there, and then I'm going to trim it. And I think I need to move this over. Okay, because I was catching something. Probably some glue, hot glue, underneath that white paper. But I want to make sure I get the edges real well. And once I get this ironed on here, I'm going to trim it exact same size as the freezer paper, and I'm going to run it through my printer and print the image on it. Get my material scissors, and all I'm going to do is cut this. Now I'm going to cut this much out right now so I can maneuver, because this is on a big bolt size. All right, so I can set this big piece aside. As you can see, it's a lot. And I dug forever to find that. And I'm going to make my bag out of drop cloth. Oh, I never found my drop cloth. I was looking for something else because I couldn't find it. I finally gave up and just happened to look up and see a box, and I thought, that's where it's at. Okay, we're going to trim this. We don't want any ravelings or anything like that that can catch in the printer. As long as you do that, it will be fine. I've ran this through my Canon and through my Epson. I'm going to finish cutting this out, and then I'll be back and I'm going to run it through my printer. And here is what I'm going to be printing. I'm just going to hit print and print again down here. And I'm going to make sure it's on the correct Epson, because one of them is sublimation. Preferences, I am going to have my color in high, and I want to see my print preview, so I have that checked. I'm going to hit OK. Print. It'll bring up my screen again, my silhouette screen. And then it fits good on my page, as you can see. And I'm going to hit print, and it's going to run through to my Epson printer. Here it is. It's ran through the printer, and I sized it at 6 by 8.5. And now I'll just take it off the freezer paper. And I don't think I'll reuse this because it has, I can see the ink. I can see where the ink has come through. And I think this was the second or third time I've used this freezer paper. So this time I'm just going to throw it away. And next time I do it, I'll get me a new piece. And I'll link below the freezer paper that I get off of Amazon to do this with. And now I'm going to get my drop cloth material. I'm going to cut this out. And I'm thinking, I'm trying to figure out, I know I have some fusible webbing, and I'm thinking about putting that on the back of this and putting another piece of material under this one. Maybe maybe this. Iron this here onto a piece of this, and then iron that onto my drop cloth material that I'm going to make my bag with. I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to do this. All right, I'm going to trim this off of there, and I also found this ticking, and I think it looks good with that too, because it brings the red. I'm just not really sure. And then I do have some, I think some, well, I'm just going to stick with these two and not go look for something else. I'm going to trim this out real fast. And then I'll decide which one of these I'm going to use. And I'll trim it to fit on there. And then I will know how big to make my bag. I have decided to go with the blue ticking. The one that already looks grunged up. And I'm just going to make it about that wide on each side. And I'm going to make a mark right here. And I'm going to rip that. I'll cut this because I don't think it'll rip that way. And I do like these ends. So I am going to measure this out and find my fusible web and put it on this. I'm just going to, I tore this piece. Now this, I'm just going to take my finger sander and work some of that out. And it's getting a lot. It's probably good. I'll do that on both ends. Okay, I found my Wonder Under, and I've cut the piece the size of this, and you're supposed to use the rough side. And I have the rough side. Now I will iron that down on there. It said for 5 to 8 seconds. And I didn't even think about it. I should have got my, that press that I got the other day, or a week or so ago. And I wasn't thinking. I can see it's not connected there. Just going to take it up slow. Counting to 5. Okay, that is not on that good, so I've got to get that on there. And I see some of that coming out. Okay, I'll see if it's... And it says to let it cool. And then pull it off gently. Okay, it is good and cool. Some of it's still trying to come up with it. Just trying to figure out which way. It's still trying to come up. Yep, I don't know. I've used this before and didn't have this much trouble. Maybe because it's old, I don't know. But there's enough left on there that it should fuse to that. So now I am going to center this on there the best I can. And I'm supposed to have a damp cloth, so I've got to go get one. And make sure my iron's still on, yeah. Okay, I put it 2 inches on each side. I gave it 2 inches because I'm going to, I'm pretty sure, sew up my bag. And that made it 11 inches by 13 3/4 inches tall. And now I'm going to cut 2 pieces the same size. All right, I just went and took this and put this on there and sewed around there, and then I decided I wanted to just put a little seam there with the black just to give it a little added something. Sewed the sides up. First I hemmed the top, and then I just turned it inside, well, I turned it inside out, hemmed the top, and then sewed all the seams up, which if you want to use hot glue, you can use hot glue. And if I had made this just a little bit taller, like instead of, I think I wanted to make it, I made it 13. It needed to be about 14 and a half or 15 inches tall. And maybe a little more narrow. No, because I put my, well, it depends on what size you do your image. I resized it so. But it's awful thick up here. That's why I needed more room, because I am working with drop cloth. So I went and got, I don't know whether to use the thin piece. I think I'll use this. I did stuff it, just stuff it with some fiber fill. No big deal, just stuff some down in there. Now I am going to try to get that. That looks good. And I'm just going to tie that in a knot. This would be a cute pillow. I almost decided to leave it as a pillow. But I am just doing this. So maybe if I change my mind and I want a pillow, I can do it. Just run me another seam on top. Okay, then it needs something. So I went and got the red. I started to get the small check. And I never use this large check, so I am going to use some of it. Tore me big strips, probably 2-inch strips. And I'm going to make a bow to go on top of it. Really don't know how big it needs to be. Probably a wee bit bigger here. At least out to the end of the bow dabra. But I'm going to finish making this bow. And then I'll be back with you. And as usual, I forgot to put my string in there. Okay, now I'm sitting here messing with it, trying to figure out. I think I like, since this is going to be out through the summer, I think this is a yo-yo I made the other day and didn't use. I think I like it. And I think what I'm going to do is try to put this all together and then maybe put a string there to where I can loop it around there. So if I want to take it off and make it into a pillow, I can. I think that's what I'm going to do. I got to get this all laid out the way I want it. I've got my hot glue going. Okay, let's pull that down. I kind of want that in the center. I don't think my glue gun's quite ready yet. Put my seltzer there. Or not a seltzer, what is this? Sisal. And see if that's where I'm wanting it. Ooh, that hot glue's hot. I'm going to have to glue this, look at it, pull it around, and glue it where I want it. Now, I glued this together, and then I put a tie here. So if I ever want to tear this apart, I can without it being all glued together. So I am just going to tie this around there, put it in a bow so I can take it off if I want to. And it is finished. All right, this is another item that I got at the one of the thrift stores while I was in Indiana. And if you'll remember, if you saw that video, I said that I was going to, I could just see sunflowers in with that blue. So it needs wiped down, but I had some sunflowers, 2 different batches, and I pulled this one down, and I only gave $5 for these. I don't know how long I've had them, but obviously a while, because you wouldn't get them for $5 now. You might get it for $5 for one, but I am going to cut these all off of here, stem by stem. Gonna finish wiping this down. And then I got this piece of floral foam out. And I'm gonna hot glue this to the bottom of that so I'll have somewhere to stick my stems, or something to stick my stems in. So I'm gonna get this all done up and then I'll be back. All right, now I'm just going to start sticking them in. I got the tallest one. I put in, wait, I want it to sit like that because you're right-handed. I pick it up like that. So I'm going to stick that back in there. I already glued my floral foam back down in there. Boy. And that's wanting to lean over. I'm going to have to put it in. Maybe straighten this. No, it's not going to straighten. Put it in an angle. All right. But that's all I'm going to do is stick these down in there. Not the easiest thing to do. This one will go probably right in there. And then I'll pull this one to the front and let it lean down. Okay. Maybe just stick these. Well, I need to cut that off. That right in here, coming out a little bit. And I have this big thick one that I can maybe stick right in there. But that's what it's looking like so far. And now I have a flag here that I cannot remember. This flag was like this. And I think I got, oh, I know. I'm pretty sure I got out my coffee, instant coffee, water, and cinnamon, and just brushed it on and let it dry. And I don't like these sticks. Well, this one has a little indentation to keep it from sliding too bad. Now, I guess that one does too. But I think I'm going to do some of those up and maybe make them a little higher. Or at least put one up in here. I don't know. So I'm going to be finding something else to use for a stick and working on this. And I'll put some of this Spanish moss around the end. And maybe a bow around the coffee pot. And I think that will be cute. You can't really see it, the angle I have it. But I'm going to start working on that and seeing what I can come up with. Where I want this exactly to come out. Maybe just one like that. Alright, I am going to find some other, I have some dowel rods and stuff. I'm going to find something else besides these plastic sticks. And this is my coffee. I better make sure. Yeah, I thought, yeah, there's cinnamon in the bottom. And I'm just going to put this on here, and then I'm going to take this outside. And while I'm doing this, I have, I think, 2 or 3 more. And I know I won't like this bright white, so I'm going to do them all, stick them outside, and let them dry. It shouldn't take long today. It is nice and warm out. Well, this project was relatively easy to do and not a lot to show. It was sticking the flowers in there. And then I took one of these skewers that I got at the thrift store, bag for 25 cents, and I stained it. And then I took one of my wood crows that I had cut out with my laser, painted it black, and painted the same kind of skewer black and stuck it in there. Made a bow to go on there. I don't know if it's too much, but I like the way it looks. Okay, now hopefully this one turns out to be easy also. I'm just going to give this block, the whole thing, a coat of the or not Waverly, but the, what is it, folk art wax. I'm going to cover the whole thing and let it dry. And I'm going to do a watermelon on it. Alright, this is dry. And I had to mix, I don't have the right color of green, so I had to mix some. I used the avocado green and a Christmas green and mixed them together, and hopefully that works. And this is going to be free-handed. Maybe if I mess one side up, I can turn it over. Well, let's see. Just going to come down the side and then come in. Okay, where's my paint? Make a bottom. I'll go ahead and do this side. We'll see how it turns out. I'm concentrating. This shouldn't be too hard, I think. I'll let this dry and see if it needs me. See if I need to go over it with another coat. Well, I took this out to the garage and I sanded it down. And now I'm going to try to put some seeds on it. I'm just going to tap my brush down. Like this type of brush. Okay, that's good enough. I don't want to get carried away and mess it up. Now, I'm going to let those dry before I mess with it anymore. Okay, the black paint is dry now, and I'm going to take the Tim Holtz Distress Ink in Walnut and go around the edges. Whoa, that went on thick. Okay, then I'm going to go up the white a little bit on the edges. And around this. Don't want to get that too dark like I did in that one spot. Need to go around the bottom of the red. Just distressing it up. Alrighty, I think that is enough. Now, I have also drilled 2 holes here because I'm going to put some wire on it. Probably going to put a little bit of bow right in here. So I'm going to look at it for a little bit and figure out what I'm going to do. And I'll show you, I think, when I'm done, because that's just making a bow and putting the wire on. That's just kind of easy to do. And I've decided to cover this in some clear wax also to seal it in. Okay, I have watered down. I might need a little more water. I think I'll add a little more to it. This was that green here. And I made me some tags. I don't know which one I'm going to use. I have a paper one I done in Silhouette software, and then I cut this one in, well, with my laser. And I just has some watered down, the same green paint there. We'll see how that does. And I'm not sure which one of those I want to use. Okay, that's kind of wet. This one's first down in my circle there, just kind of dotted around, so I made another circle and stuck my wood back in there and let it cut another hole out. That should be covered up with the string. It won't show that bad. And then I done these all right here. Okay, that's dry enough. Now I'm going to kind of ink that up too. And around the circle. Okay, and just in case I don't want to use that one because I don't know yet. I'm going to go around this one. Okay. It's just cardstock. Kind of breaking up the fibers of the tag. Okay, I think that is good. Now I'm going to start working on putting I've got some rusty wire here. I'm going to put that on and I think make a bow. Okay, I've made a little bow and I'm going to put that about right there. And I'm using hot glue. And I'm going to put a button in the center. I don't know. I think I want it where the writing's not showing. There is some writing on. Whoa, I am totally almost out of frame. I'll put that right there. And then I decided, I think, to use the wood tag. I'll stick that up underneath there. I want it to hang about right in there, so let's do that and let that dry or cool before I stand it up. And I think that's finished. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed all 3 of these projects, and I thank y'all for watching and commenting and sharing. And until the next one, we'll see you later.